What's up, guys? Chris Schroeder here, back with another YouTube video. Guys, in this video was it was brought to me by one of my members in my free community, and he wanted to know if I flip anything other than like electronics or phones. I'm known as one of the guys who flips phones and like other handheld electronics, but guys, that's not all there is to me. So if you guys would, before we get started, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notified whenever I go drop a new video. So let's get started though. So guys, a lot of people think that I just resell phones and like other handheld electronics. Nothing could be further from the truth. I resell just about anything that I can make a profit on. So let's talk about that. How can you flip anything for a profit, right? Well, guys, before we can flip anything for a profit, we have to know what something is going to sell for before we ever purchase it. Okay, so that means that we have to appraise it correctly. Okay, so what does appraisal mean? Appraisal means understanding what something is going to sell for before we ever buy it. So one of my mentors always told me, you make the money when you buy the item and not when you sell the item. Okay, the next part of this whole thing is you have to know if something is going to sell, right? That's why we use the sold listings on eBay, which I'm going to show you guys here in a few minutes on how to figure that out. Okay, and then we want to list it on eBay correctly or whatever platform that we are using. Okay, so with that being said, guys, I want to show you guys a couple of items that some of them are electronics, but some of them are not. And I think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this video. So let me go ahead and share my screen and pull these up for you guys. So let me share my entire screen here. Let me go here. Okay. So the first one that we have here, guys, the first one here is these are framing nails. I bought these framing nails. So I bought 2 boxes of them as well. I bought 2 boxes of framing nails for $10. Okay. I resold them both, one for $55 and then one for $60. Okay. So I made about $100 in profit off of these. Now, how did I know that they were going to sell, right? How did I know? So what we're going to do is we look them up, right? So let's go here. Let's type that in, right? And then what we're going to do, we see here they're selling for 100, 120. These are a little bit high. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to sold items. And you'll see these are the first 2 that sold. There's some here that are for 89. These were a different type, but they were very similar. So I had an idea of what they were going to sell for. So you always want to go to the sold listing, see when the item sold. So it sold on February 1st, 2022. So it wasn't that long ago. So that's why whenever I listed these, I had a pretty good idea. It was going to take a little bit longer to sell, but it was still going to sell nonetheless. Okay. How did I find these? So I bought these specifically from a pawn shop. The pawn shop couldn't sell them locally. So I bought them both for a total of $10, $5 a piece. And then I resold them for $60 and $55. And I didn't pay for the shipping either, so made a good amount of profit on that. Very happy with that. The next one, guys, so this one is an electronic, I'll be honest there, but it's not a phone, it's not an iPad, it's not, one of those things, right? This is a GPS/fish finder, right? So once again, I did my research before I ever bought this device. So we go here. We're going to type in the model number. We're going to type in everything, that we know about it. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go down here to sold items. And then we see there's one for $7.99. Now, I didn't have a transducer. So a transducer is what goes on the bottom of the boat. So it connects to this thing. So I sold mine for $600 instead. But you can see typically what it's selling for. I knew it was selling for about $700, but I didn't have the extra stuff that came with it. But I had a pretty good idea of what it was going to sell for. Now, I bought this device for $200. So I made, I believe it ended up being $323 in profit just on this device. Okay. Now, the next one I have here, this one is electronic, but it is not something that you guys usually buy or I usually buy when it comes to phones and electronics like that. Right. So this was a camera. This one was a pretty expensive one. So once again, you find the model number, you grab it, you type it into eBay, right? So meaning this, the whole name. So we'll grab this, we'll type it into eBay, we'll go to the sold listings again. Remember, we want to figure out what something is selling for before we ever buy it. Now, we don't want to use the all listings. We want to go down here to sold. Always go to sold. Never base any prices off of the stuff on the first page. Okay. And then we'll see, you know, we got some here that sold for a little bit more, right? Mine had a couple of things like missing from it. So that's why it sold for a little bit less. Here's mine right here. Here's another one. So, oh, right. Mine had more hours than most of these. So, these are all things that I look for. I look for the sold listings, and then typically what I'll do is I'll find the lowest listing, especially on an item like this. I believe the lowest one that sold was this one, and that's why I offered $500 for this one, and then it sold for over 1,000. So I made, I believe it was 489 in profit on that one, I believe, net. So that's another one. And then we have this here, guys. So this is another item that is definitely not an electronic. It is a tool, but it's a Graco Air Pro HVL pressure gun, right? Anyway, it said the model number and everything on here. So I knew it was a Graco, had an Air Pro, and then I just looked it up on eBay. And then I found some that were very similar to it. None of them were exact, as you can see here. So what we're going to do is type in this instead, and then you'll see a couple more show up here as well. This one was very used, so it didn't sell for as much as I wanted, but I only bought it for $20. So you can see this one sold for $174. It's obviously in better condition. This one's brand new, right? So I had an idea of what it was going to sell for. It sold for a little bit less than I expected. Once again, though, I bought it for $20. So but this is how you guys can sell things that aren't electronics specifically, or phones, right? That you can still make a profit on. You can make a profit on anything. As long as you figure out what something is selling for, you can figure out what to offer for it, and then just take the profit from the difference, right? Another thing is you always want to have a buyer. So my buyer is basically the people on eBay, right? I want to make sure something is selling before I ever go to actually buy that item. Kind of like with phones, we already know what something's typically going to sell for, but we have to double check when it's other items that aren't exactly phones, right? So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys got some value out of this video, and maybe you guys can go out there and find some items just like the ones that I showed you. And guys, you guys can flip anything for a profit. As long as you can appraise something correctly, you can buy and resell anything for a profit. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video, and remember to like, subscribe, check out all the cool details I have below in my description. I got a bunch of resources down there. I even got a calculator that'll help you appraise items. So you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.